roll call. The vice mayor is not with us. Everyone else is here tonight. And Brent Downs, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, thank you. And Happy New Year to everyone, and thanks for being here. First up is the consent agenda. All items listed here under are considered to be routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be discussed separately. Item 1, approval of the December 2nd, 2025 Town Council regular meeting minutes. Item 2, approval of the check register report of December 2025. Item 3, approval of the combined trial balance for October 31st, 2025. Anyone wish to pull an item off the consent agenda? So hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 3.
Motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 3.
Second? Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 4, current events. So we start off the year with some good news. So Madison Garrett, who you know is our communications director, had a baby yesterday at 10 o'clock. So that's pretty cool. So it was 8 pounds, 4 ounces, 21 inches, 21.5 inches, or 21.5 inches. So anyway, pretty exciting. And so if she's half as dedicated as I think she is, she's probably watching right now. So that's great. Next item is just to share with you information how we're managing recruiting for the town administrator position, because Gary announced his retirement effective first week of March. So how are we doing that? So first we looked internally, so we've identified a couple of candidates inside, and now we're looking externally. And the way we're managing that is we're working with MAG, the Maricopa Association of Governments. So the objective was to find someone to run this for us, short of the interview process, who is professional and doesn't have an interest in what goings on and doesn't come to it with a bias. And we figured that out because you might remember in, I believe it was November, the executive director for MAG came here and spoke to us. And he had resigned and was moving to the city of Phoenix to be their city manager. So how did MAG run their search? Well, MAG has their own HR department, but they went to the city of Mesa to run it for the same reasons that I described. So I reached out to MAG and they agreed to do it. So it's great. So what does that mean? So we put together a brochure to describe the job, and MAG posted it for us. They posted it in a variety of places. So the MAG website, the Arizona League of Cities and Towns website, American Planning Association website, International City and County Manager Association website. It's on our website, it's on our LinkedIn page. And so when someone's interested, they click on a link and an email, they submit their resume, their application, and their letter of interest to MAG directly. And MAG reviews the submittals, and they set aside the non-qualified, and they make a pile of the qualified, and then they will send us the qualified. So in the initial pass, Council members Lon Johnson and Colleen Rose Skirty and I will review those, and then we'll do some preliminary interviews, and then we'll distill those down to those who are really of interest, and then we'll have interviews with the entire council of those. And just to show you how into it, or how supportive MAG HR is, they're even willing to sit in on the interviews, which I think is welcome because it keeps us out of trouble. Right? So here's someone who's a professional HR person. So I'm really excited about how this is working. They're just turning out to be great partners for us. And then the last point on this is just the timeline, to give you a feel for that. So the submittals will close on January 17th. Then we'll do preliminary interviews January 26th to 28th. We'll have a recommendation of candidates, of the ones that we think are really outstanding and have qualified to do the job, February 2nd, and then we'll have final interviews around February 9th. So if we get a good candidate, we'll have about 3 to 4 weeks of overlap with Gary Neese while he's still here. So that's how it'll work. So I think it's a good process. Another current event is candidate packets are now available for the 2026 primary election. So we have 4 seats on the council, myself included, that are up. So mayor and 3 council members. So the primary is August 4th. Packets are available in town hall. So make an appointment with Kristen, the town clerk, and she'll take care of you. We have Carefree Conversations coming up this Friday, January 9th, 9 to 11, and the Vice Mayor and Councilmember Sheila Amorosa will join me. And we have a garden seminar this Saturday, January 10th, here in this space, in the council chambers at 9:30. It's about irrigation of landscaping. So it's a fact that 70% of our water loss or water usage is outdoors, whether it's pool, fountain, and irrigation. So this is a great opportunity to figure out how to get the most out of your irrigation and keep your water bill down, keep your water consumption low. It'll be a good program. And finally, Orphan and Oddballs Car Show is this weekend. And Lon, you want to fill us in?
Yeah, our rescheduled date is Sunday, starts at 9 o'clock, we'll run until 1. The collector cars can come in 7:30, as early as 7:30. We're still looking for volunteers, so if anyone would like to help, get a hold of myself, Clint, or Les Hardy from our P&Z. The 3 of us put this on, and it looks like it's going to be a heck of a day, beautiful weather, so if you've got a car, I know some of you are already bringing them, that's great, but if you have any other questions, just let me know and I'll direct you in the right place, but looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Thanks, John.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, Les has been working very hard on it, and Lon, you've arranged for coffee and other goodie bags that will all be part of the venue, so should be a fine
Yeah,
day,
it'll be a great day.
so
Excellent. And the weather report is good this time?
I hear.
Okay, beautiful, okay. All right, so any other current events? Okay, so I'll close current events. Item number 5, an update for the Foothills Caring Corps. So the Foothills Caring Corps is in Carefree. Their mission is to improve the lives of folks who age in place. They're supported by donations of residents in Carefree and neighboring communities, and they help folks in our town and neighboring towns. So Brent Downs, the executive director, why don't you come up and share with us an update?
Thank you, Mayor Crane. Council members, grateful for the opportunity to be here to share about the Caring Corps. We've been in this community for 25 years, serving homebound seniors. We were founded at the Anglican Church in Carefree in 2000 and moved across the street here, or almost across, on the other side of the Hampton, crossing the post office in 2009, and have continued to serve those homebound neighbors in North Phoenix, Cave Creek, Carefree, and North Scottsdale. So when I first arrived 2.5 years ago, we were doing services, about 20,000 touch points. So we do home delivered meals, we have non-emergency medical rides, we have handyman tech, friendly visits, pet visits, anything to engage our neighbors and keep them involved. We have a van program, we have 9 vans that we take our neighbors to events that we partner with communities partners on, like the food bank. We go to the food bank on Senior Shopping Day. We have events at the Holland Center. We have events with Good Shepherd of the Hills. We do a lot of partnerships at Christ the Lord. We do some of our programs there. So we really partner with the community to serve the needs of what I call our invisible population. You know, our neighbors are homebound. You don't see them unless we get them out or we bring them somewhere. So we're a voice and an advocate for those folks. And over the past 2 years, we've increased our services from 20,000 touch points to over 38,000 touch points. And we anticipate getting close to 50,000 touch points this year in our fiscal year. So the demand is rising. We see the needs rising. And even alone in our non-emergency medical, 2.5 years ago when I got there, we were doing 270 trips a month. Right now, today, we're doing over 500 trips a month because Medicare health insurance quit reimbursing for non-emergency medical. So one trip in our medical assisted van to go to a dialysis, which we have neighbors that go 3 times a week. If you contracted that out, that's $300 a trip. So that's 3 times a week at $300 a piece. You know, that's $3,600 a month in cash that you have to come out of for transportation. And a lot of our neighbors just don't have that kind of disposable income. So where our volunteers are able to provide those services. We have over 400 volunteers from the community that help provide these services. So that's how we're able to offer these services at no cost to people in the community. The last couple of years, we've offered over $2 million in services free to the communities. So we're stepping in and filling that void of community members who just want to age in place. They want to age in their home. And in the last couple of years, we've increased neighbors a bunch. We had over 400 new neighbors last year. And one of the trends we're seeing is deeper needs with our neighbors. We're starting to see cognitive issues. We're starting to see other issues that our neighbors are having that are outside of our daily just services that we provide, our transactional services. So now we're going a little deeper to try to meet the needs of our aging community. Because our community isn't getting any younger, and we see the numbers rising, so we want to address those. We started in a meeting with the county about fire evacuation. You know, we have our 9 vans. Our homebound neighbors, most of them can't operate technology. So when it comes time for evacuation, it's ready, set, go, ready. They send out a text. Well, most of my neighbors don't know how to do a text, so they have no idea what's going on. So we partnered to have our vans available to evacuate people who are in affected areas. So we've gone deeper there. With fall prevention, we started fall prevention programs, which we had a meeting here a couple months ago, a fall prevention awareness workshop, because the fire departments in the areas, 70% of the calls are for falls. So almost 3 out of 4 times that fire truck leaves the fire station, it's for a fall. And at Caring Corps, we have a mobility loan closet program with wheelchairs, walkers, mobility equipment. So now the fire trucks have our pamphlets on it and information to share with people they encounter that have falls. The frequent fallers, they call them. So now we're able to engage them and get them involved in not only getting the proper equipment, but getting them involved in services. And one of the big things we've seen with the cognitive issues is it's growing so fast. Out of that 400, we had almost 60% of the new neighbors that have cognitive decline. Dementia, Alzheimer's, one of those. And to address those, we started a program to address the dementia issues in our community. And so we brought Sherry on board, who is very versed in the dementia space, to help us try to build programs to meet the needs of our neighbors with increasing mental and cognitive decline. And so I want to turn it over to Sherry now so she can share a little bit about the things we're doing in the community and our initiative to get the town of Carefree as a dementia-friendly town. So, Sherry?
Mayor, Crane, Town Council. My name is Sherry Bozicki, and I have been at the Caring Corps exactly 1 year today. So it's my anniversary there, and it was really, it's been a dream. It really has. I started out as a teacher, taught for 20-some years, and then after I taught my own children, decided to change careers, and I went from children to seniors. And I found working in the facilities a passion for those living with dementia and in the memory care units. Since then, I have obtained my CDP certification, which is a Certified Dementia Practitioner certification, and a Support Group Facilitator certificate. I have 3 main points to convey tonight to get your support in becoming a dementia-free community. The first point is the need, which Brent touched on. The second point is how to address that need. And the third will be what it means for the community of Carefree. So we'll start with the need. Like I said, I've been here exactly 1 year with Foothills Caring Corps. I do myself about 40 intakes per month. So that's going out to somebody's home and assessing their needs. And we see all kinds of needs. Nancy Kors is my director of the team, and she and I sat down one day and figured out that about 40% of all those intakes that we are doing have some sort of memory challenge, some sort of mild cognitive impairment, or they're navigating a stage of Alzheimer's or other dementia. Early on, last January, I started to see the need of the community here in Cave Creek, Carefree, North Scottsdale, North Phoenix. It didn't take me long to figure out that, there's not much help up here. The support is distant. It's down in Phoenix, Glendale, Sun City, Fountain Hills. So what about the community members here in Carefree and Cave Creek with the memory conditions? Well, some are living alone and need lots of support. Others are living with their families, and those families are doing their very best to take care of them, but as the disease progresses in their loved one, it gets complicated, and they don't know what to do or where to turn. So the need is definitely present. It's great. So how? How do we serve our citizens that are living with dementia, and how do we help their families and care partners? Well, one way I found is to join the national network called Dementia Friendly America. And it's just really a pledge, pledging our efforts as a city to become a dementia-friendly community. Janice Greeno is the Senior Outreach Manager at Banner Alzheimer's Institute, and she's the lead for Dementia Friendly Arizona, and she is walking myself and Foothills Caring Corps through the process. In fact, next week, January 14th, is the launch date that we are planning to have at the Cave Creek Library to get this whole movement started. Step one would just be to educate. Get that education out there. There are 40-minute, very short informational sessions that can reach any group in any sector of the community. So making everyone aware of the basic knowledge surrounding dementia. There's 5 key messages that could easily be taught to the entire community. And then the next step is to form an action team and across those sectors of the community, like the restaurants, the churches, the clinics, the businesses. The action team would then meet monthly to discuss or identify the needs of each community, brainstorm actions and places and activities to create that safe, non-threatening community for those living with dementia. The goal is just to have those people feel welcome and supported and to be a part of the community, just like they always have been. They can then come out of their homes, maybe dine in a restaurant, shop in a store, participate in any community events that we might have. Foothills Caring Corps has already established 2 programs for our neighbors. One of them is called Music, Memory, and Movement, and it is taught by a Carefree resident, Miss Shannon Wallace, who happens to be here tonight, supporting me. She is a jazz singer of many years, a professional, but she has changed her singing, and she's turned it into a workshop for people of all needs. But she does a fabulous job of getting those people engaged and singing and moving and doing some hand-eye coordination. We've been holding that at Christ the Lord Church once a month. We're continuing to do that this year. We have at least 40 in attendance each time. Everyone leaves uplifted. It's a really cool program. So, the other program we've started is a memory cafe. The closest cafe I could find when I came here was way down in South Scottsdale. There's also one in Surprise, there's some in Glendale, but nothing up here. And so Good Shepherd is hosting our memory cafe once a month, and that's a 90-minute program for the person living with dementia and their care partner. So it's a little, it's intimate, and it's very moving. We have last month, it's been growing. We've had 2-3 participants. Last month we had 10. That's 10 people with dementia and 10 care partners. We do a program for those living with dementia. We get them engaged, talking to each other, singing, whatever it is that we're doing that day. And then I take the care partners to the side and we have a support group, which is just beautiful. I barely have to say anything at all. I just get them started and they just pour. They need that safe space with other people who are in the same boat. And so it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing that's going on. Now, why? Why would we do this for Carefree? Well, participation in a national movement is pretty cool. Opening our eyes to the needs of a special community within your community. Access to dementia-friendly resources and education and just information, and get it out to people in the general community. If we are accepted, which I believe we will be, we'll have access, both Carefree and Cave Creek will have access to a dementia-friendly logo or a brand. So if a restaurant wanted to get involved, they could put a brand on their menu or in their window, and that alerts people that this place is dementia-friendly. I can bring my mom in here, and it'll be safe. The ability to connect with other dementia-friendly cities. There are 14 on the Arizona's dementia-friendly list right now. I would love Carefree and Cave Creek to be number 15. And that's just needing your support. The biggest benefit would be that the people in Carefree are living with, those that are living with those memory challenges or mild cognitive impairments or the type of dementia they might be diagnosed with would be understood, and they'd be supported by their very own community. So in conclusion, Brent and I, our whole staff, see this as an opportunity to serve the communities of Carefree and Cave Creek. Thank you for letting us be here and discuss this with you and share the need and the how and the why. It's free, it's educational, and it's a compassion for the people that are living right here in your community. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. So, yeah, Foothills Caring Corps does great work, great contributors to our community. And now I'd like to open up to questions or comments from the council. Sheila?
I would just like to thank the Foothills Caring Corps for being such a positive, action-oriented force in our community. I think what you do on your budget is truly exceptional. I mean, it's really unmatched. And I love this program, and I would like to help get it going.
Thank you. Cool.
Anyone else?
Yeah, just a couple questions on who evaluates the level of dementia the people have? Do you are you brought in by the family or doctor?
It could be any level. And no, I do not evaluate. That would
No,
be a
but
doctor's.
Yeah, so it's evaluated by a doctor?
Correct. Or a
And
family
then
member. We don't need a diagnosis
No,
to
but do you work
participate.
with the physicians as the person's progressing? If you're the only conduit with some of these people?
Possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we
because
try to get
some-
family first, of course, family first, but some of them are living alone.
Yeah.
And so they
I
need,
met a few that were living alone and really don't have anyone. And then if they have to transition to a care facility, do you have people that facilitate that?
we would have resources for that, yes. Mhm.
So you can move them along as, and on the restaurants, what makes it
Oh, yeah.
dementia?
Right,
friendly?
dining with dementia.
How
I
do
went
you
to a whole
define-
workshop on this, and for a person that's having memory challenges to come into a busy restaurant, there's music playing, there's people talking, there's waiters and waitresses moving around. It's a lot. It's overstimulation. So talking to the restaurants, is there a place where they could go in a separate room, or at least a little less chaotic? Instructing their servers on speaking slowly and clearly and understanding that the person might repeat the question 45 times and not to get upset with them. It's education is what it is. So.
Well, I think a big part of that also is, how do you, as a restaurant owner, for example, cope with someone who wanders in? So in other words, they've lost their way.
Right.
So they're not necessarily in there to have dinner, but how do you find a solution?
Exactly. You would, sit them down and make sure that they're comfortable and try to get their name and who they belong to, and hopefully they have some sort of identification on them. And it's just talking to them like a normal person, but gently, because they may repeat, they may be scared, obviously confused. And so it's a lot of patience, and just being very direct.
Yeah, so please talk to us going forward about how to support this program,
Yeah.
being certified and so
Yeah,
forth.
the very first thing I need is just a letter, hopefully from Mr. Crane.
Okay, you just come in and talk to me, or
Yep.
Reach out to me,
There's
we'll
just
figure
a
it
letter that I need from the town of Carefree that, yes, you're behind this and you'd like to be a community that's known as dementia friendly. So it's pretty easy.
good. Shannon, I've seen your videos. They're great. The music videos, they're exceptional. I encourage anyone who has, what's the website? You can Google your name and you can find it.
musicalmemorycare.com.
Yeah, it's well worth taking 5 minutes to listen to it. And on January 21st, you have a program here. I think in the town council chambers, is that right,
Oh,
Brent?
yes.
You can fill us in on that.
Yes, that is different. That is Aging with Dignity. And that is our community resource committee that is setting up those monthly presentations that, thank you, we can have here. And each one has a different topic. I believe the one in January is on POAs and guardianship. And then the next month will be a different topic. And we will take a break June, July, and August, and then come back and finish the year September.
Okay.
So each month will be a different topic.
So that's just another example of how the town's partnering with Foothills Caring Corps. So we did the evacuation program, we did the
Fall
fall program
prevention,
here,
mhm.
we're doing this. We'll sign up to be a dementia-friendly city in town. I'm not sure, we've done other things together, but we're open to working with the Caring Corps because it brings value to our residents. For sure.
Thank you very much.
And, okay, that's it. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really a pleasure having you here today. And thanks for all you do. Okay, that closes that item. It's now call to the public. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. The public may address the council on matters not on the agenda. At the conclusion of an open call to the public, individual members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the public body, may ask staff to review a matter, direct staff to study the matter, reschedule the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, the council may not discuss or take legal action at this time. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. You fill out a form. All you need to do is let us know your name. And we have 2 here today. So you have your timer all set? Yes. Okay, so John Trainer.
Mayor Crane, members of the council, residents here, and those of you at home, I bid you a good afternoon and a happy new year to all of you. I come this afternoon bearing questions, and I realize that by Arizona statute, you are not permitted to answer questions or make decisions during the call to the meeting, call to the public meeting. However, I do look forward to answers to the questions I will pose this evening or this afternoon. It seems that things have been very quiet regarding the Northeast Corner Development Project. After 16 months, what's the holdup? What happened to the long list of willing businesses? Who actually signed a contract with Diversified? Lots of open questions. When will residents be provided with a comprehensive update, including realistic timelines? Will Diversified take part in that? Jumping to a different category, given that at least 6 Carefree business owners, commercial property owners, or residents have had criminal charges filed against them for alleged minor code violations by the town of Carefree, Can you explain why that decision was made as opposed to a simple notice and a reasonable fine? Since the job descriptions for Economic Development Director and Planning Director do not contain any reference to code enforcement, can you explain why those individuals appear to have been performing the very thing they were not hired to do? Who authorized them to conduct that activity, and who decided that criminal charges were called for in each of those cases? Have any of you ever attended a court session where ordinary people, like you, learn that they may spend 6 months in county jail, be heavily fined, and have a criminal record for the rest of their life? How well would you handle the emotional terror of facing that situation? Thank you.
Thanks, John. Arnold Holdbach.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm not asking for an ordinance to start with. I'm asking for some creative solutions to our leaf blower noise early in the morning. I've had several talks. I live in Velvet Shadows or Carefree Shadows, and I've had several neighbors come to us and come to me to say, can you, because I attend a town council meeting now, finding a way where we can reduce the noise early in the morning, and without an ordinance, by the way. And I spoke to Clint a bit about that too, and maybe Carefree can publish some things, trying to be good neighbors. By the way, a leaf blower's noise at the operator is between 90 and 100 decibels, which is the sound of a jackhammer, and it's the sound of a Harley Davidson without mufflers. And so I have my gardener, and I keep him from using a blower on my property. I make him break, because I think, well, probably better for the environment, but it's a lot quieter. So I bring it up to HOA. I haven't talked to John at our next meeting, try to get to be neighborly, to say, you know, do you have a concern? Not come up Saturday morning at 7 a.m. start the leaf blower, or 7 a.m. Sunday morning start a leaf blower. But it would be nice if we as a community, and from the council's perspective, put something in the newsletters and try to do some encouragement to get the word out to people that really these things shouldn't be used early in the morning. Not do enforcement, that's not the idea behind this thing, because it wouldn't work anyway. But some way as a community come together and do neighborly things to try to make it a bit quieter early in the morning, so that so there's a bit of peace, and maybe we can sleep in, or maybe we can have our coffee on a patio without having the noise of a leaf blower. Anyway, that's my comments, and thanks for listening.
Hey, thank you, Arnold. Education, good idea, thank you. Okay, that closes call to the public. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Passes unanimously, thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks. Okay.
It's an annoying thing. Like I said, I had Joshua, other neighbors like these blowers, but I never touched the blower by your